Good morning. I would like to thank Dr. Sato for giving me the opportunity of sharing a new concept with a hybrid OR used in minimally invasive spine surgery. These are my disclosure. I'm consultant for GE, Medtronic, DePuy, and SpineGuard. My practice today is mainly minimal invasive spine surgery. I'm expert in spine surgery and been involved in many scientific society, as you can see on this slide. We perform in our department 1,800 spine surgery a year, and 80% of those surgeries are done minimally invasively. We currently use the O-arm-based navigation, and we, for cranial surgery, we use the MR surgical suite. The main disadvantage in minimal invasive spine surgery is the learning curve, the adoption of the technology, the dedicated instrumentation, and mainly radiation exposure. We know all the advantages of the post-op comfort, rapid recovery, and less iatrogenicity. And we know also that today is there to stay. It's routinely used, it's effective, and the market is growing. So we think that for better adoption, we need to work on a curriculum, get a better teaching tools, doing more workshops, and mainly also improve the intraoperative guidance and minimize radiation exposure. Today, the most popular tool for intraoperative monitoring is a C-arm, and many spine surgeons use just a C-arm for placement of screws, rods, and control their work. For more advanced intraoperative monitoring, we can use navigation, and especially in minimal invasive, in order to get safety, better placement of implants, and less radiation exposure, because it's a virtual monitoring. Today, navigation could be used with fluoroscopy-based navigation or with a 3D fluoroscopy-based navigation, like a CT-like, like the O-arm, the arrow, etc., etc. What I'm going to show you is another alternative for intraoperative guidance, which is a multidisciplinary hybrid operating room. It allows the whole spinal procedure with the built-in navigation. We do not need any more the localization technology, so we can get rid of the light of sight. We also can have a better ergonomy in terms of field of view, in terms of gantry of the machine, in terms of accessing to the spine. And also we can use it in a multidisciplinary mode, like could be used in spine surgery, in vascular surgery, in interventional radiology, etc., etc. So you can see on this slide the access to the spine could be multi-directional here. You can access the upper part, cervical spine, for example, or on the lumbar area in the dorsal or ventral decubitus. So ergonomy is well designed here, and you can see that the access is obtained easily. Also, you can see the workflow. First, this is the intraoperative acquisition. You can see that the mobile, the C-arm could rotate around the patient with no obstacle, and this is the image obtained after this acquisition. You can see the 3D images with a good quality for bone surgery. Here are all the steps and all the imaging capability that the machine is able to do. You can see on the extreme left the real-time acquisition for a single shot, so you can have a fluoroscopy mode. Then on the image nearby here, we can have our planning across the real-time also needle placement here. It's called needle assist. And then you can also on the 3D mode adjust and simulate your implant placement. The 3D imaging could be also obtained, and this could be the last control before closure. And here also again the quality of the 3D image used for navigation. One of the main advantages also is the large field of view, which allows to work on many vertebrae, at least 7 vertebrae in one spin. Also, we can stitch to acquisition and work on larger field of view. The image are high resolution, and we can simulate and go through details for all the bone structures. Once the image are acquired with the machine could be stored, and then the images could be used for either linked to any navigation technology on the market, or used as image guidance with a built-in technology called needle assist, with no need for any localization technology in addition. So you can see on the top of the slide here, this is one of the navigation routinely used, could be linked to the machine, or on the bottom of your slide here, we can use the built-in technology with the needle assist. Here is the planning and simulation of spine implant placement. This is very important. I think it's great features. You can plan your surgery step by step and go for each vertebra, determine the length, the direction, the point of entry, and you get this kind of 3D image with all your virtual implant in place. Then during your operation, during the surgery, we can superimpose the virtual planning to the actual planning, to the actual image. And you can see here on this slide here, the red is a mask that brings in and out the planning that we worked in before. And you can see my pedicle placement of the implant here, and the long dark lines here are the intraoperative, the real intraoperative image. And this is the final control of the screws and rods placement before the end. Let's go through a clinical application, a clinical example. This was the first clinical example used with this machine years ago, and this was about a fusion between L4 and S1. So you can see here the panorama of the hybrid OR with the machine on the side here, the operating table, which is a surgical operating table. A patient is placed on prone decubitus, and first step is to acquire the cone beam CT. In the second step, the 3D planning is performed as I showed you before, and then the guide wire are placed through percutaneously using the needle assist, so we can superimpose the virtual planning to the real placement with real fluoroscopy. Then over the guide wire, like usual, we place the screws and then the rod. The control, 3D control is done before to confirm the placement of all the implants. So I've showed you this before. Here is the con beam, and this is the CT-like images before working on the planning. And here also you have the planning on the left, and then you see the direction of the implant and on the 3D, and the length of each implant on each level. Then in a real time, we can apply guidance to mimic our virtual planning, and you can see on the top, on extreme right, the Jamshidi needle placed in the pedicle, and this is actually our superimposed to our virtual planning before the surgery. Here is placing the screws over the guide wire and placing the rod percutaneously, and this could be controlled at any time in a real-time fluoroscopy. What we can conclude is, first, surgery could be done in a minimally invasive way under this technology, and the radiation exposure is more than acceptable. If you can have a look here, the dose, the overall dose was 23.5 gray by a square centimeter here, and this is, if to have an idea of comparison, is like 2 conventional lumbar radiography with AP and lateral, and also the con beam CT done with this machine is 2 millisievert versus a standard lumbar CT scan 10 millisieverts. So it's more than an acceptable dose for the surgeon and the patient. So to conclude, this is another alternative for performing minimally invasive spine surgery with intraoperative monitoring to make it safer, quicker, and a better workflow. The other main advantage also is that this is a multidisciplinary platform that could be used also with cardiovascular surgeon, thoracic, and interventional radiologists. Thank you.